From the beginning of 2021 until now, only in exchanges have been hacked by $4.5 billion. So most of the people, they are concerned about wallets, about crypto market, if the price go up, if the price go down, what will happen. We see the Luna case, but there is one very important topic, and that is the security of our money. Where it is secure to keep the money, in exchanges, in our wallets, on paper, on ledger. How we make sure that we have full security of the money. And it's not only about private money, it is about also institutional money, which is a very big market. And for the next panel, I will invite again Mr. Vlad Mercori on the stage.
Merci. So, thank you. I guess this time I can stay here. Ah, that's good. So let's suppose you never heard about me and you know that CBDC is evil already. And I will tell you that I had a discussion with Pippa Malmgren, who was an advisor for George W. Bush, like the junior. And she was present at the World Forum, or whatever is the name of the economic forum. And she explained the social system from China, and you can see that with CBDC as well. So remember the fact that in Canada, when you send some money to the truck drivers, your accounts have been frozen. So whenever you have the money in the bank, the money stops being your money. That being said, I want to welcome my guests on the stage. Nic Balaceanu, Alexandru Rizea, Florin Nedelcu, and Augustin, Jianu. As Mihai said, I think security is a very important problem for crypto, because crypto is about personal responsibility. And with personal responsibility, we already know that comes great, even bigger issues. So before we start, similar to the previous panel, I would like each of my guests to say a few words about who they are and the company they represent, so you have a better idea why they are on stage and why they have the opinions that they have. The rules are, there are no rules, so everyone can take the mic and answer the question, and we move forward.
Does it work? So, my name is Nic Balaceanu. I'm more of the traditional financial services. I work for, and I founded LENDRISE, a company supposed to help you use your creditworthiness for better credit, better jobs, better rent, whatever you can do with your creditworthiness, but also with your identity. So that's why maybe I'm on this panel, because identity, digital identity, is key for anything we do in the financial service, either traditional or crypto, CBDC or Bitcoin. That's me.
So funny enough, also dealing with digital identity. I'm the head of product for certME, which is a product by certSign. Some of you may know certSign. They deal with digital signatures, qualified digital signatures and digital certificates, and many other services. Previously, I've tried my hand with a few crypto projects. Before that, for a brief period, for 6 months, I was Minister of ICT in Romania. And before that, I was the head of the National Cybersecurity Incident Response Team, also of Romania. So my background is very diverse, very mixed, and also includes a heavy chunk of cybersecurity.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Floyd Nedelku. I'm the CTO of Eternity Cloud. As a background, I'm a software engineer with more than 10 years experience. And I started working with Eternity Cloud since 2017. It's a Web3 solution that aims to build decentralized cloud with focus on confidentiality. So at any time, on any moment during the processing of some data, it will be protected against any sort of attack during the transit, during the processing time. We couple the trusted execution environment with blockchain technology in order to build some secured enclaves that will protect your data at any time. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alexandru Rizea. I'm the CTO at QOOBISS. We are a eKYC solution provider. We are providing an identity verification solution, fully automated, and also onboarding solutions.
Cool, thank you very much. I think security in general, but also cybersecurity, whenever we hear about that, it sounds like a very broad term, and we don't know exactly, like when I say we, I mean people outside of this area. And I'm curious to know, what should we have in mind when we speak about security in the crypto world? What are the biggest challenges?
So I'm going to try to define a bit the scope of the discussion. What does it mean, cybersecurity? Well, it's a funny acronym by which you can remember very easily what cybersecurity means, which is CIA. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data, of your digital assets. So this is the talk. But more than this, because this sort of relates to information security or data or digital security. When you say cybersecurity, there's this implication that an attack on your data or an attack on your information systems can lead to kinetic effects, can lead to things actually happening in the real world, not only in the digital world. And as we move forward with the metaverse, with the blockchain and the real world and the digital world, the border between them becomes more and more fuzzy, more and more unclear. This field of cybersecurity becomes more and more important, because again, a simple attack on some information systems can lead to maybe people losing their wealth, losing their lives, or any number of bad things that can happen. So this is the scope of our discussions, and with to try to narrow it down to the crypto space. A lot of people say that the blockchain is more secure than traditional systems.
Is it?
Well, in a way it is. In a way it is, because it moves the trust from the systems and from the part of the source code. It moves it to the protocol. So if the protocol is secure, then yeah, your data is more secure because you have immutability, right? And you have high availability. And it goes to the CIAs, right? The confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Well, integrity, if your data is immutable, then you can guarantee integrity. If your data is decentralized on a number of nodes, then your data is available, right? So yeah, is more secure, and it's a better way of doing technology. But you also have to take care and take good measure to see if actually the protocol is well implemented, if it's well defined, because there are a number of protocols that are not as secure as, say, blockchain, as say Bitcoin or other proof of work protocols. And there's also a question of smart contract security. And last but not least, is a question of wallet security, right? Maybe a lot of you guys know the story, the anecdote about the guy who's searching the landfill, the dump yard for his hard drives, which had some Bitcoin worth $300 million or something like that. And that's also a question of security. What do you do if you lose your wallet? What happens to your assets? I'm going to try to stop here and let some other people also contribute.
If we talk about security, a simple explanation is like this. Think about a system, and it should work as it's supposed to work. When someone ill-intended wants to try to use it another way that was designed to, then there is a security flaw to that system. Talking about blockchain. Blockchain was built to be more secure as far from the traditional system that we know. So in the central system, all the data, all the programs that are running to be used by users are kept in 1, 2, 3 locations. Those locations can be attacked by an ill-intended person and can be pushed down. Now, talking about the blockchain, by design, it was made to be secured. You have transactions that are stored in blocks. Each block is computed by different nodes out there into network. You have plenty of networks. So if an ill-intended person comes to manipulate the data that is stored over there, you always have the other data stored in different parts of the world, in different computers that will be compared to and will know that data is not as it should be. But even if it was developed to be secured, blockchain has its vulnerability as well. So we can have phishing attacks. That it's intended for those that are having wallets in order to get access to their private keys in order to get access to their balance. Also, we can have code explosion. That means some smart contracts have some problems and no security audit was made on it, and hackers can use that as a opportunity. Also, we can, if you talk about exchanges, there can be person that have hacked computers, person that can lose keys, and so on. And to the technology, to blockchain itself, there are a few known vulnerabilities. 51% attack. That means you can, if you have great amount of computation, more than 50% over the network, you can manipulate its data. But even still, here is a solution. You can do a hard fork, and otherwise you can eliminate the person that was ill-intended. Also, there is Senile attack that consists of building fraudulent accounts in order to keep the network down.
Next question, we will not start with you two.
Okay, I'll pass. Thank you.
Okay, so now that we know that this cybersecurity stuff, it's pretty techy, pretty nerdy, and pretty boring for most of us, the most important question is, what are the biggest concerns you as people interested in crypto, as people who buy crypto from different exchanges, what are the biggest concerns these people should have, and how should we tackle those with education and everything?
Okay, as I said, I'm more traditional. I'm in IT since 1981, and cyber attacks were started in 91 when the Web 1 was first. So we managed to handle all those attacks by keeping data safe. So I'm a database guy. We had a lot of attacks, and we don't know actually. There are so many, it's unbelievable. When it's about crypto, I think even the name says, well, it should be more protected, right? Because you have cryptos, you have a lot of strings, numbers protecting your assets. When people buy crypto, I think it's very easy. First, they don't have to register, it's decentralized. They just give an email, they receive the key, and that's it. So they don't put a social security number or other account numbers or anything like that. So it shouldn't be a problem to buy. When you transact, that may be a problem. And probably most of the crypto platforms, they ask you to have a good KYC, to know who you are and to avoid terrorism, to avoid money laundering and so on. But I don't see a problem with crypto. Maybe people don't read the smart contracts. Maybe
they don't.
That's the problem, actually. It's too long. It's like terms and conditions from Apple. Nobody read probably 28 pages. But again, a smart contract has probably some bugs in it. You don't see it. You'll see it later, maybe too late. So it's better to read the smart contracts as patiently as you can. Yeah, so.
So, first of all, I think that most of the people don't understand exactly what is crypto. Yeah, this is the main problem. And
okay, what is crypto? Let's do it like this.
I'm not able to define it very well. I'm not I'm not from this area. Yeah, my expertise is not here. But the idea of blockchain, it's something that has fascinated me. Yeah, I have seen a lot of possibilities and places to use it. And actually, I am considering right now to use in a project, yeah, to actually store and deal with identities. Yeah, because of this structure of decentralized and ledger, yeah, and but most of the people don't understand about this. They are seeing just a quick way of making money, and they are seeing that this crypto, yeah, it's very used by persons involved in cybercrime. And they are afraid to use it. Yeah? They don't know how to store it because it's very difficult. What will I use? A hard wallet, store it in my computer, and so on. It's difficult to understand the concept. So first of all, people will have to better understand, and all the companies involved in crypto should do a better deal to explain what is actually crypto. Yeah, and what can be done with it. And of course, this is not a problem also only for crypto, but for everything. Yeah, the problem with attacks, phishing attacks in special, yeah, because there are a lot of people who are trusting all emails they are receiving, they are clicking everywhere. They don't understand that the internet, it is a place where you should be very careful what you are doing, yeah? Because there are a lot of people trying to take advantage of you and to steal your money.
Wild, wild world.
So the easiest way to explain what's crypto, it's an application that runs on the blockchain. The blockchain technology doesn't stop only to the crypto. We can have decentralized apps that will solve some issue that we currently have. Talking about crypto as a new user, there is a lot of information to understand. And I think this is the biggest fear of everyone, to adapt to new information, to adapt to new technology, to understand what happens. And since there, everyone can make different mistakes because they don't understand or they are in a hurry to get rich, because if you ask, many of them want Lambo in few years and so on. The blockchain itself facilitates these transactions. What means transaction? You are able to always transfer from your account to another account, a wallet, some amount of currency. If it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, doesn't matter. And each transaction has a gas fee. And everyone that's new to this environment should know, if a wallet asks a gas fee for that specific transaction, it means you will alter the data stored on the blockchain. So once this can happen as an attack, you should ask yourself why this wallet asked me to pay gas fee if it's only to read some data that is stored on the blockchain. Talking about exchanges, now difference between transfer from a wallet application and exchange. On a wallet application, you have anonymity. You have only wallet address, that's the hash, and the data is there. Everyone can see all the transactions that resides from your wallet, but no one can tie up yourself as a person with this wallet address. When you go to an exchange, you'll see that there you have to do QIC. And once you go to exchange and make transaction from there, all the transactions that are saved on the blockchain are tied up to you as a person, as an individual. Thank you.
I'm sure you have something to say. Come on.
Yeah, well, you know, you talk about education and how that can help, and I think that it's necessary, but not sufficient. So in order for us to better secure our technologies, be they, you know, regular crypto or other types of dApps built on the blockchain, you need to have security built in the processes. Built in the processes of development, but also in the process of using the technology. And I'm going to give you one example. So our product, certME, is basically a digital identity wallet. Right now, the European Commission is making a lot of efforts to promote a new regulation for digital identity wallets in Europe, meaning that you will be able to own you know, your degree or some certificate, some attestation about yourself that you can then use online to, you know, benefit from services, to register to services and do a lot of dealings online. You're going to be able to store those in your wallet. But at the same time, the European Commission and regulation does not allow your wallet to be duplicated. Your private key needs to be stored securely into your wallet, into your hardware wallet or your mobile phone, but it cannot be exported. So you cannot have duplicate identities. And this is an issue because if you lose your device, then, you know, your degrees, whatever, it's lost. Okay, so if it's a degree, it's not a big problem. You just call up your university and they'll send your degree back into your new wallet, right? But what if you have some crypto assets, you know, into your wallet, and this wallet cannot be duplicated, it cannot be backed up? How do you deal with this?
That's simple. You never put your crypto assets in a centralized exchange, in a centralized wallet given by the European Commission.
Well, no, it's the European Commission only regulates the sector, so the wallets are private and can be private. So our wallet is a private wallet by a company and is not centralized. The data is yours. No one can access it, just like any other crypto wallet. So the way that you can deal with this is to try to have some sort of, and you know, there's a reason why you might want to hold some assets into such a wallet. For instance,
I'm so curious.
You may have, for instance, a digital asset that represents a building or some sort of real estate token, which gives you ownership rights over some piece of land or some building. And in order for that to have legal effects, you need to hold it in a recognized digital wallet. You know,
makes total sense.
Okay,
anything but money could be stored there.
Even money, but the idea is that to safeguard against this, you can make a process by which you have a multi-sig account and you have some sort of custodial, you know, feature. And then if you lose your wallet, then the custodian can, you know, by you know, K out of N keys can restore and add your new wallet to that account. So this is a type of process that can be implemented to ensure the security of your assets, even if your wallet cannot be duplicated or backed up.
Yeah, so the scariest thing is to lose your wallet. I don't have a physical wallet for 15 years now. I lost so many house keys and wallets and IDs. So recently we think of something even better than a wallet to tokenize identity, to tokenize creditworthiness, your health record, properties somewhere in a bank in Switzerland as a digital asset, where you only have access and you always say, yes, I agree to share it with whoever I want. So it's like a sovereign identity, independent of the state. Maybe I'm an anarchist now, but this is how I see it and this is how it should work. And then it's fully 100% protected. And you can delete any copy of it wherever you send it. So you know where it is, you just delete it. That's, I think, I don't know what kind of identity that will be. We'll try it probably this year. But of course, we need to make sure that the enrollment, the onboarding is done properly, accepted by EU. Sorry, we are still citizens of this. I'm also a citizen of the States. I don't know exactly what kind of ID you'll have, but staying in control of your ID, that's key, and should be tokenized. Not nice plastic, not on phone or e-wallet or anything like that. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, I think people underestimate usually the power of technology when it comes to learning it. And our feeling is that, well, we will never be able to do this. We will never be able to do that. Well, guess what? My grandmother sends an email. So it's possible. And if we have to, we have like a big, how to say it? We are more than capable to learn things whenever we have to. We are less capable to learn things when it's optional. So moving forward, I'm curious to know your opinion about, so we have privacy and freedom on one hand, we have the need for KYC on the other, and we have regulation in the middle. If tomorrow you would be able to draft regulation, how do you arrange these? How would you position regulation in terms of like these two extremes by having security in mind as well? Easy question.
Okay, I will try to answer. So another big concern, because I forgot about it, when we are talking about crypto, is also this lack of proof of identity. Yeah, most of the people are used to know who is owning what, and this is a concept that it is in us. Yeah? We must know this. Yeah? It's something that it bothers us if we don't know it. Mm-hmm. And this is one thing that it's not present in the crypto world. Yeah, the idea of complete anonymity, it's something that it's very common in the crypto world. And this is why some kind of regulation, it will actually help crypto. Yeah, and it is going to be easily understood and taken into consideration about people that are not using it and are afraid of it. So the regulators have to step in and to give us some background. Yeah, they have to settle somehow the environment. What should be done? But in a limited way. They don't have to try to strictly regulate everything, to understand exactly all the technical aspects and to try to impose some technical solutions. And a proper KYC, yeah, it is very important in this process of identifying somebody.
Talking about privacy and blockchain, it's quite hard. So the single way that you have privacy on the blockchain is not to have QIC for your wallet. As a technology, blockchain stores everything and nothing can be deleted or undo on the blockchain itself. So it depends what data we need to store on the blockchain, and I think there is a first step there. What should be stored on the blockchain and what shouldn't? Because if you store their private data, it will end up being there forever. You cannot undo it, and you can say, oh, we need that email shouldn't appear in a decentralized app, and we should delete it there. No, once you put it there, you should keep in mind it will end up being forever. So a first step should define this part. So say what data should be placed on the blockchain and what data shouldn't. Talking about crypto assets, since there is anti-money laundering, there should be in place a QIC process for that. And once you have a QIC process, you tie a particular wallet to a person. And since this, you lose your privacy because anyone can see all the transactions you have made on the blockchain. The data is there. You can see it right from the beginning for the first time you created that specific wallet and all the transactions you made, to whom you made. Maybe some of them were made to person that didn't make any QIC at that moment, but others to person that have done QIC. So this is quite sensible subject in order to define what should be public and exposed and what shouldn't need to have some sort of regulation in order to achieve that.
Yeah, I was just trying to say that I was not talking about blockchain. Blockchain is just a technology. There are other technologies, older or newer than blockchain. So for us as users, either crypto or just traditional financial services, it's important to stay in control of it. And indeed, blockchain is risky. So you cannot delete what you did. So it's important, and we talk about something new. And when it's about the regulators, I think that they already did a mistake by the GDPR. So GDPR, it's good for us as people. Problem is to use it properly and fight against those centralized organizations. Regarding KYC, so far, I can tell that the banking grade KYC is the best ever. It's because they see you digitally or in the branch. They can do AML on you. They can do ever. So their KYC is better than the police, better than anything else. So the question is how we, the technology companies, can help citizens of the world to stay in control of their data and delete it when they need it. So it's not just hiding from authorities, but it's important to know you have it with you whenever you go, whenever you need it. And this is not blockchain. Blockchain is just for maybe crypto, for other things. It's nice. It's just a technology we don't care about as users. So that's my view. Maybe you have a different opinion.
I think I have at least a partial answer. As a private citizen, I want to say a lot of things. As a former regulator, I'm very limited in the things that I can say, so I have to choose very wisely what I'm going to say. So
You're a former regulator. You can say anything, unless you want to become the new future regulator. So
when people think about regulating crypto or blockchain, they usually always think or only think about private projects or open source projects. They never think, never talk about regulating CDBCs. What governments can do with CDBCs, what should they do, what would be the limits, how would you impose those limits? And so this, I think, should be the main focus of the discussion right now in regulating crypto, because, other than that, the existing legislation, AML legislation, is doing very fine, very well on, keeping things on a legal side. So right now, I think that I would maybe impose or try my best to impose that, at least partially, if not completely, even though you have KYC, at least partially, if not completely, the crypto CDBCs should be based on some sort of anonymity protocol, such as CryptoNote or Zsnark, so that, okay, you as a government, as a state, can have, a broad overview of the economic activity, can plan your actions better, but you cannot infringe upon, the privacy of any particular individual. So that's maybe one of the key things that I would do as a regulator right now.
Okay, let me put it in a different way. Let's suppose tomorrow the governments of this world will decide that anonymous crypto is bad. Monero is bad, Zcash is bad, everything is bad. And somehow at G7, G20, G whatever, they decide that we shouldn't be able to hold tokens that have this privacy layer. would you buy or sell Monero, Zcash, and so on?
You mean, would I break the law?
No, that was not my question. I just asked if you'll buy or sell.
I think that there's always room, if by whatever means governments always try to control everything. So the more they try to control, the more people find new ways of hacking the system, going about the system, eluding the system. So I think maybe governments should take a more realistic approach to this and never, never, ever go into the direction of trying to ban something like this altogether. Maybe try to have a more proactive approach, try to take some of the dark economy and move it into the white area, or some of the gray economy, move it into the white area. But whenever governments try to push something intensively and try to block people from actually being free, because this is essentially what the Monero or other anonymous protocols give people. They give them freedom. So whenever governments try to take away freedom, people always try find ways to go around what governments impose. So I think that they may well try to ban them, but I don't think that they could. If they could try, but they wouldn't. I mean, how do you go about banning, Bitcoin or Monero? How? It's impossible.
Okay, it's impossible. That's good to know.
Yeah, I agree with him. I don't think this will happen. And actually, if you look, governments have started to realize that if they ban something, that something will become more valuable, and it's going to be exploited by the, let's say, bad people. Yeah, and this is not the good approach. Better you try to find a way to regulate it, yeah, somehow, to impose some rules, yeah, but that's all. Yeah, it's better to be under your eyes and to know exactly what is happening there. And I think it will be a bigger benefit for the states to have this, yeah, and to be somehow in their hands.
Talking about this subject, depends what authorities think they should implement against this. If they try to punish people that do those transactions and own those cryptocurrency, yeah, it might force people to back off. But if they say, okay, it's not, they don't approve transaction with Monero or others, people will still use it, because we care about our privacy and we should continue doing that. Yeah, if you are doing dark activities and you want to do those things, there is the direction where a government should look into, to see how they can protect against this sort of activities and this sort of transaction, not banning all for all, since privacy is a right.
If we see crypto just like a stock exchange, probably bad news will generate some movements. People will sell, will buy, and so on. But I just try to think of crypto as a personal data, which is protected by law. So I don't know, maybe the state cannot do much about it. It depends on the shape of crypto in the future. So if you ask me, I don't own any crypto yet. Probably I will buy some. But the most interesting part is to transact it, right? So buying is nothing. It's just a good feeling. But it stops there. So I think that if the regulators come after us, and I'm for the minimal state, I'm a Republican, so I think states should intrude as less as possible in anything we do in private, then I don't see that coming either. So I don't think it's a problem now or tomorrow.
Okay, but following this logic, so, and I agree with all of you, the states will not go and straight ban one type of crypto just because it's more privacy focused and they cannot look into your yard. If that's the case, that means that all the thieves, hackers, and all the people who are doing bad stuff in this world will focus on these privacy coins, right? And this means that the narrative that Bitcoin is used for theft and all this money laundering and so on, this narrative should die forever.
I thought it's dead.
Sorry? Can you use the mic, please? It's important.
I thought it's dead, so I don't think people see Bitcoin or any crypto as a scam. And I come from the traditional fintechs, so it's not a scam.
The regulator took the mic.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's the question of whether it's a scam or not, but the narrative that it's used for bad things, right? Well, it's kind of a good narrative somehow, because it allows for a very solid argument against crypto deniers that say Bitcoin is worthless because it doesn't have an actual economy backing it up. Well, it actually does. It has
but it's not the right type of argument that you want.
It's not, but it's a valid one, even though we don't like it,
You agree?
right?
I agree.
Okay, so again, coming back to what I was saying previously, if governments want to avoid this type of behavior, the least they should do is try to, when they impose their digital currencies, make sure that those currencies account for two things. One, they do their KYC so they know everyone in the system is accounted for, and you cannot come into the system with black money. And second, make it anonymous to trade within the system. If all the money is legit, make it anonymous to trade within the system. Because otherwise, in Romania we have a great experience in communism where people were not allowed to have foreign currencies, but they did, So how do you go about, denying people the right to do this? People will always find a way to, go around an oppressive regime.
Okay, so if we move, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
It will be a short one. Even if it will be used by dark side, let's say like this, it's another way of doing things. They still have money to do and other things to trade. If you will ban this crypto, it doesn't mean you end up that part of the world, the dark side, and that end it. No, they will find another way to make payments and so on. So I don't think this is a solution to ban some system in order to achieve this result. You won't be able to achieve that. That means we should ban all the currency available, fiat like now, to end up this sort of activities. And we cannot achieve that.
Following this logic, so we have the following. We cannot ban the privacy tokens. That means that most of the wrongdoers will go and use them, which means that we can kill the narrative of Bitcoin is used by wrongdoers to do stupid stuff. And that opens another question. Why should we use CBDC and not Bitcoin?
I'm not a regulator, but I'm somehow in favor of central bank digital currency, especially for these parts of the world, and for two reasons. And maybe crypto can help. I asked Mr. Mora once if crypto can help with the financial inclusion. And he said maybe, so it's a good start. But I think CBDC can really help with financial inclusion because people, I think we have like 10, 12 million of Romanians here in Romania using a smartphone. So they have a Facebook account, they maybe have cryptos as well. So I think CBDC can help first with the financial inclusion because it will be very easy to get it, very easy to spend it, and will be controlled. Think of the welfare. Lots of people in Romania receive welfare for nothing, for being lazy, for example. In the States, for example, the welfare is on a special debit card. You can use it to buy food only. So having control sometimes helps, I think. And the other thing is corruption. When you have CBDC, if money goes to a corrupted account, you can burn it. Just disappear.
This gives me chills.
So guys,
Seriously.
imagine 30 years after communism, all those stolen millions, hundreds of millions, are just burned. So, of course, there are downsides of it.
Huge downsides.
Downsides, because it's centralized, it's no DeFi, and so on.
I can
and
take
so
your
on.
money just because I consider you corrupt, even if you are not.
It's a huge potential for abuse. It's whenever I hear about CBDC, I'm thinking about it's Satan, right? If it's not implemented correctly, if you don't have any safeguards, it's basically the way to Orwellian society. No one wants that. So
Well, there are some.
Well, there are insane people everywhere. So,
Yeah.
so if the question is why should we use CBDCs instead of Bitcoin, the answer is maybe we shouldn't. So if it's correctly implemented, then yeah, we should take care that it's implemented correctly, that the proper
What is correctly? What do you mean by correctly?
safeguards,
That's a problem.
safeguards that no
And
single person
okay.
should or could, just end my identity or end my wallet, end my life with the push of a button because they're in control of it centrally. So you need to have proper safeguards within the technology, within the procedures, within the entire system. So again, if it's implemented correctly, then yeah, maybe it's a good path to go on. If it's not implemented correctly and there are no safeguards in place, then just boycott it. Just use Bitcoin.
We have like a long history of authoritarian leaders that destroy their currency without having the kind of access CBDC would give them. So in Venezuela or in Zimbabwe, the central government didn't have the kind of access CBDC will give to the governments, and they still destroy their economies. Programmable money in hands of the people is good. Programmable money in hands of the government is bad, right?
Yeah, and actually, if you look at the world at this moment, we have a lot of leaders that want everything to be done as they want. Yeah, giving them such tools will be a huge mistake. Yeah, I don't think that safeguards and something like this will work. Yeah, if the system is in place, yeah, they will find a way to attack the persons they consider that are not with them and have to be punished. And so this
Guys,
should not happen.
We are out of time. Thank you very much. No, Nic, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was thinking of the third advantage of the CBDC, just because these three guys here, four actually, are against. I think you have control of your own money. The digital currency you own, the amount of it, it's yours. If it is stolen, you burn it. So I don't know if with crypto is the same, but at least, okay, I am for minimal state, but this is the only thing the
That's
state
the maximum state you just
No,
described.
this is what they should do. Keep us safe. That's it. That's why we elect them. We vote for it. The rest we do.
Okay, we'll continue discussions during the break. Sorry, we really have to end. It's important to know that I know more people will discuss different topics today by the end of the conference, but I think it's safe to assume that one of the conclusions of Banking 4.0 is that CBDC is evil. Thank you very much.
The world